Hi, welcome to the Living Yoga series. My name is Darren Main, and this series is designed to help you understand yoga in a broader sense, the yoga that happens when we roll up our mat and how we integrate the principles of yoga into our lives more fully. And so I thought it would be appropriate to start off this series by asking and hopefully answering the question, what is yoga? When I lead teacher trainings at Yoga Tree in San Francisco, I always start our first night of philosophy discussion by asking this question. And the interesting thing is, as we go around the room and all these people who are clearly devoted to yoga for different reasons, as they answer the question, they all answer in very, very different ways. Eventually it comes around to somebody who has either read one of my books or another book on yoga philosophy, and they sort of want to look brainy and they say, yoga means union. And then I ask them, well, what does that mean? And then there's crickets chirping. And so my goal in this short video is to just explore that idea of what is yoga and see if we can flesh that out a little bit and make it more meaningful, not just on the yoga mat, but also in your life. So if you ask 100 yoga teachers what is yoga, you're going to get 100 different answers. My personal definition of yoga is the joining together of that which is perceived to be separate. And I emphasize the word perceived because there is no separation. Everything is connected, and yet we perceive separation all around us. So as we go through life, we see people of different races, different genders, different sexual orientations. We have people, those who have different interests. My personal favorite is people who like Star Trek versus who like Star Wars. There's countless ways that we break ourselves into groups. And we don't just do it with other people, we do it with our own bodies, which is the case in Hatha Yoga, what we're working on. So what I'd like to do is look at how we perceive different aspects of our being as being separate, and then bring that definition in and see how the yoga practice, both asana, pranayama, and meditation, can help us break that down a little bit. So the first thing we encounter when we roll out a yoga mat for the first time is the body. And what we start to see is that the body is perceived to have a bunch of separate parts. People say, where should my foot be? How should I do this pose by moving this arm? Can I have poses that work this part of the body? I really want to work on beefing up my pecs or strengthening my core. Or I have a physical ailment and I want to work on something that detoxifies the liver. So we start to see the body as a bunch of parts and pieces. Yoga would have us bring that back in and start to see the body as a unified whole. That is why it's part of what is frequently referred to as holistic medicine, is looking at the whole being instead of a bunch of parts and pieces. So as you begin to move through your poses, and the teacher reminds you over and over again to bring awareness to the whole body, you start to see that where you put your foot affects where you put your hand, and how you position the spine affects how you're feeling in your body overall. The second way we experience unity or begin to break down that false perception of separation in yoga is on the mental and emotional level. Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick, and we go to a physical therapist to deal with joint and bone issues. And then if you're having emotional struggles or psychiatric struggles, we go to a therapist or a psychiatrist to deal with the mind. In yoga, we recognize that those things are not at all separate, that how you position your body affects how you feel in your heart and mind. And conversely, the thoughts we habitually think affect how our body feels. If you're really depressed, your body can be low energy. If you're really alive and full of positive thinking, your body feels more alive. So as we go through the yoga practice, we start to see that these poses we do are affecting both the body and the mind and helping to break down that false barrier that we've put between them. And the final way we use yoga to break down that perceived separation is on what I call a spiritual level. Now, different people experience this differently. They may go to church on Sunday or synagogue on Saturday. They may be agnostic or atheist, Jewish, Buddhist, whatever it happens to be. But we have this belief that our spiritual needs, the need to feel that you have a purpose in life, and that these relationships we form in life have meaning, that we don't just get up and go to work every day so that we can go to sleep and make babies and then eventually die. We all like to have some sense of meaning in our life. But we tend to separate that out into the things I do and my spiritual needs over here. And we even go so far as to say, I will deal with my spiritual needs only when I go to church on Sunday or only synagogue on Saturday, as opposed to seeing everything as a vehicle for dealing and addressing those universal human questions that we all hold. So yoga helps us to break down that perceived separation between spirituality being put over here in a box and how we live the rest of our lives. So my hope in this video, as well as in the videos that are to come, is that you're going to start to see how that definition really helps you bring yoga off your yoga mat and your meditation practice off your meditation cushion and into every part of your life, because there is nowhere where yoga is not. Yoga means union. And when we practice, the goal is to be able to see that union in everything we do and hopefully experience a lot more joy and happiness as a result. If you like this video, I hope you will take a minute to subscribe to this channel. If you would like to learn more about me, my work, or see an archive of other episodes, you can always visit our website, livingyogaseries.com, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If there are questions you'd like me to address in this video series, please take a moment to put them in the comments section and I will eventually get to them. See you next time.